So I know this video is going to be coming out a couple days after the Williams livery got announced, but that thing is hot. It looks really good. I don't know who's designing liveries over at Williams these days, but they're doing a great job, whoever they are. If you're watching this video, which you're probably not, good job. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for a good livery again. First of all, I'd like to start out by saying I'm sorry for the roof. This is the only good shot in the whole backyard, and the roof behind us is kind of gross. It's not our fault. It's just a bit unsightly, but you can deal with that, right? It's fine. You can deal with that. So yes, today we are filming in the great outdoors of Canada. It is a beautifully perfect weather day. Like it's like one of those days where it's like not hot, it's not cold. It's just like it's like perfect. I'm very happy about this. I want to change it up for you guys. I also feel like this is a bit more of a personal video. It's more like we're having a conversation rather than me telling you my horrible opinions on the world of Formula One. You guys have come to me to ask some questions. Pre-season Q&A is what we're doing today. Some big questions that I'm going to answer about the upcoming 2020 season. You guys absolutely filled the comments section on the last video, so we're going to get into those right now. And I've got to say, hot takes coming up. Get your oven mitts on because there's some hot takes coming. There's a plane, I don't know if you can hear that, but kicking things off, we have BMPHF1. He does have a channel, and we'll link that in the description down below. He asks, do you think Verstappen will win his first world title this year, or will Hamilton run away again for numero 7? Clearly, Mr. BMPHF1, you did not watch my F1 2020 predictions video because I predicted neither of these two to win the title. I predicted Verstappen coming runner-up, Hamilton coming third, and Sebastian Vettel taking the 2020 World Drivers' Championship. I think if I had to choose between, Verstappen or Hamilton, and Vettel was out of the question, I would definitely go for Verstappen, to be honest with you. I think he's come a long way. We saw some absolutely massive progression in the 2019 season, and I think if it was between him and Hamilton with such a silly season this year, I really do think that Verstappen could take it. But I think overall, it's going to be Seb. It's going to be Seb. Roby Toby, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The thing with these Q&A videos is everyone has quirky names on YouTube, so I don't know how I'm pronouncing it, but Roby Toby asks, who do you think will have made the most progression, driver and team? Most progression for driver and team. I think, personally, the biggest team making the most progression this year will not be Racing Point, it will not be McLaren. It's going to be Renault. I'm really liking the look of that new Renault car. It looks really aggressive. It looks really punchy. I think they, especially with Ricciardo in the car, I think they're going to be able to make some good improvement. I don't think they're going to be able to, pass McLaren or Racing Point. We'll have to see as that goes. But I think they're going to have a big improvement this year because I think we can all agree that 2019, was a bit of a disappointment for the French outfit. So I think it's going to be Renault surprising us most this year. For a driver, I think the biggest improvement is going to be Mr. Georgie Boy Russell in that hot new Williams that we just saw earlier this morning as of recording this video. I think he's going to get he has to get at least 1 point this year. I know last year he came out with 0 points, but he consistently outqualified his teammate Robert Kubica. I think he's going to have a great season this year and prove to Mercedes he is worthy of that Silver Arrows seat. He's going to get it. I'm telling you right now. Alright, so Liam talks F1. And also I talk F1 because that's why I have a YouTube channel. Who will win and who will lose the midfield battle? Oof. With the midfield so close, that is a tough question. I think just to kind of encompass this whole thing, we have to determine who's in the midfield. I would say it's Racing Point, McLaren, Haas, Renault, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri. I still think Williams is going to be down below, so we're going to go with that. I think the winner this year, as we can all predict, is going to be that Racing Point pink Mercedes. Just the fact that it's the same as the 2019 Mercedes has to show that it's going to be a quick car, and with Sergio and Lance in the car, I think they're going to be able to get some good points this year. And I guess the losers of the midfield battle this year, I think we can all agree it's going to be Haas. I mean, I don't think they're going to have a car that's competitive enough to get, consistent race results, and I don't think they have drivers consistent enough to actually finish races. I think it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Haas will be the losers of the midfield battle once again, and Mr. Genie Boy is going to rub the lamp and see if he can even have a team in 21. All right, now we have Allah. Not going to try to pronounce her last name because I will botch it completely, but I think that's a picture of Chewbacca. Yeah, nice. I like Star Wars. You're a cool person. You've also been around on the channel for a while, so thank you for staying along with the ride. Do you think there will be some fireworks between Ocon and Danny Rick? Yes, 100% there will be fireworks between Ocon and Danny Rick. I think we saw how, feisty Ocon was in that racing point with Sergio Perez, and Perez is kind of a, subdued driver. He's not super emotional. Danny Rick is very emotional and will get very angry at Ocon if he, tries to step over his feet or anything like that. So, and Ocon won't take it. Ocon's going to be like, no, listen, I'm an established driver. I know what I'm doing. And honestly, that's a good question because I think no one's ever really thought of that. I think there could be some big fireworks this year if those two kind of come to grips a bit. So, good question. And now we have Vlad with the sausage dog, Tomo F1, asking, how do you see your Canadian boys faring this season? Horribly. No, I'm just kidding. I think Latifi's going to have a rough one, honestly. I really do. I think Latifi is going to be kind of struggling to get to grips with the car. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope he can, get to grips with it quickly, but I don't see him getting, any crazy points this year. As for Lance, I think with his race pace and his race ability, I really think he'll be able to get some decent points this year, especially, like we mentioned, with that beautiful pink Mercedes. I think it's going to be quick, so I think it's going to be kind of a mixed bag, really. I hope Lance does well. I don't see Nicholas doing well at all, but thanks for the question, Mr. Tomo. All right, clearly Conan MM93LH44. You did not understand the rules, even though I don't think I set any rules. I said one question. You asked two. You're lucky I'm a nice guy, and I'm going to answer both of them. Do you think that Racing Point can win a race this season? And who do you think will replace Ricciardo at Renault at the end of this season? Oh, I think Racing Point will win a race this season, and it's going to be Checo. He deserves a win. He deserves to get on the top step of the podium. Well, podium. It's not really going to be podiums this year. Definitely with some of the crazy stuff that could happen with, messed up grids this year, I think it could be totally plausible that Sergio could win a race. I think it'd be awesome to see, too. I think it'd be nice to see someone at the top step of the fake podium once again. And as for who's going to replace Ricciardo, Alonso. Like, we all know it's going to be Alonso. We need to stop, pretending it's not going to be him because we all know it's going to be Fernando. It's 100%. This is a big one. Umar asks, will Racing Point be quicker than Ferrari? Whew. That is a good question. That would be crazy if they were. Honestly, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see Racing Point outpacing Ferrari, but I don't think they have the skill to consistently beat them. I think Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc have more skill than Checo and Lance. So even if the car is quicker, I don't think that they'll actually beat them on merit in points. I still think the Ferrari drivers and the Ferrari team will finish higher in the constructors, if that makes any sense. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but that's what you're getting. Now Amy asks, which team do you think the new calendar so far favors, and will McLaren achieve more podiums? Well, let's see. Bunch of races that really suit that Red Bull, especially the first two races in Austria. The only one that really suits Mercedes is Monza with that straight line speed. Honestly, I think it definitely favors Red Bull this year. I think that's why I think Max will finish ahead of Lewis, because there's a bunch of races that the Red Bull is just naturally better at. And the question of if McLaren will get another podium, absolutely McLaren will get another podium. Again, if you watched my F1 2020 season predictions, you'll know that I predicted Sainz to finish 6th, best of the rest in the standings this year, and that's because I think he's going to really have a lot of pace because he knows he's going to the Ferrari. He's going to want to show how quick he is, and I think to do that, he's going to need to show that he can get on a couple podiums with a lower-end car, which honestly the McLaren is going to be quick this year, I think. And honestly, yeah, Sainz getting a couple podiums, maybe even Lando, we'll see. I think it's definitely plausible. Muhammad asks, do you think the Sepang circuit or the Malaysian Grand Prix should return to the calendar? And it's so funny you ask this question because literally, like, right after I filmed the first video asking you guys to ask questions, I popped in F1 2016 into my PS4 just to see how the older games held up. And obviously I drove Sepang because it's the only game or the only track not on the current game. And holy crap, I forgot how fun that track was to drive and how good races came out of it because it's a good track. I think it would be awesome if they brought it back onto the calendar. I know there's politics and reasonings as to why they can't have it on there, but like, it would be awesome to have Sepang back on because it's such a good track and I thoroughly enjoy watching and driving it. Mr. LMOO55, also an OG on the channel. Who will win the Drivers' Championship? I feel like I'm getting this question a lot and I'm probably answering it too much, but as we all know, I think it's going to be Sebastian Vettel this year. He's going to absolutely fly with the lack of just any care for team orders. Not going to care about the fact that Ferrari doesn't want him to do well. Honestly, he's just going to fly, and I can't wait to watch it happen. All right, moving on. Brian asks, which non-F1 grid track would you like to see added on, Imola or Hockenheim, etc.? Should there be cutout fans in the stands like in soccer games? First of all, yes, Imola would be my vote to bring back. I think it would produce some great racing. Hockenheim, honestly, I wouldn't call that a track I'd want to bring back necessarily above any of the other ones because we've had it recently. We've seen it. I think having something like Imola or Mugello would be great because we haven't seen them in Formula One in recent years. And as for the cutout fans in the grandstand, yeah, that'd be awesome. Like, I think that would be super cool. It's kind of quirky, it's kind of cheesy, but I think it would look cool for the cameras, and I think it'd be funny to see, maybe for one race as a novelty. But yeah, I think that'd be super funny because I know a bunch of soccer and baseball teams in Japan have done the same thing. So yeah, I'd be here for it. Henry Liu 68 asks, also an OG of the channel. Thank you very much. Question: do you think Stroll and the Crash Guy will be here? The Crash Guy? Not sure who the Crash Guy is. Stroll? Will he be here at my house? I mean, it'd be kind of cool to meet an F1 driver. I'm not really sure. Will they be here? Will they be here? Yes. All right, another great F1 YouTuber, link in the description down below, JWF1, making some great content, by the way. Go check him out after this video. Do you think the virtual GPs will have an impact on certain races this year? For example, better reaction times with the footballers crashing left, right, and center, and drivers forgetting it's real life and becoming reckless. That's a great question, first off. Honestly, I don't think it's going to impact them too much. I think it would be funny if they just assume they're in the game and just kind of, especially Lando in Monaco, where he just kind of sent it down the inside. I think it was Charles. I think it would be funny. I don't think it's going to affect them too much. I think once they get the helmet on and the lights are out for real life, I think they're going to be pretty dialed in. But I think it'd be funny if in like one of the post-game or the post-race interviews, one of them says like, "Oh yeah, I thought it was the game by accident. That's why I crashed into Alex or something." But I think it'd be super funny. All right, another F1 YouTuber you should check out. Link in the description down below. The F1 Club, my guy. Can't wait to do the Apex F1 dance. Joe, this is a question and answer video. Where's the question? I don't understand. I know my dance was good, but you're supposed to ask a question. I hate to break it to you, but I can't answer that, so yeah. Sorry, Joe. Now moving on to the Twitter questions that people posted in the tweet that I tweeted. Twitter. Lorenzo asks, who do you think will finish higher this season, Leclerc or Verstappen? Honestly, I see Verstappen finishing higher this year once again because I think that Ferrari is going to be tough. I think Sebastian's definitely going to be able to pull it, but I think Leclerc may not have the experience or the pace to pull that car ahead of Verstappen. All right, the lads at the F1 debate show. Again, link in the description down below. Who do you think will be the driver that'll surprise everyone the most? Honestly, even though I don't think it's going to come true, I really want Esteban Ocon to surprise us because I think it would be awesome if he took a year off from the sport and then just came out surging from that Renault team because I think it'd be really refreshing to see someone just kind of hop in the car and go. And honestly, I can see him doing it. I'm not sure if he will, but I can see Mr. Esteban Ocon, even though everyone seems to write him off for some reason. Esteban, you're going to do well this year. Please don't make me eat my words because I wouldn't like that very much. Thanks. Last but not least, mainly because it was the last one I screenshotted on my phone, F1 Dorney, another great F1 YouTuber. By the way, great series with the Formula One. I think that's great and original. Awesome idea. Which driver do you think will be the first to DNF this season? I think the easy answer is Grosjean because it's so tried and true to him as a driver. But honestly, for me, it's going to be probably Latifi. I think he's going to not come to grips with the car very easily. I think it'd be funny if he just kind of, spinaled on the first lap. That'd be pretty funny. I think it's going to be between either him or Grosjean. Leave a comment down below who you think that's going to be. Is it going to be Nicholas, the Canadian Latifi, or Romain Grosjean? That is the question. And those are all the questions. I just did them all in one little go here. That was fun. It was a good time. So there it is. There are your questions for the upcoming 2020 season answered. As of filming this right now, it is exactly 1 week from the very first practice session in Spielberg. So by the time this comes out, there'll be even more hype for the season to start. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and feel free to answer some of the questions that I had to answer in the comments down below. Don't forget to lick the stamp, send that subscribe button, and don't miss the apex. Peace.